ridiculous. What he's saying here is that the star sign, which is being reported all over the world. Now, it's not in the mainstream media. Okay? The mainstream media represses everything. And what they're saying is that Maitreya is going to be a threat to the old world order. Okay? The people that are in office now that are evil and these wicked people governing the planet. Maitreya will be a threat to that system. To a certain extent, they're right, because he's going to be the one that takes over that system and ushers in the new world order. And so it's been repressed in the media, these types of things. But you can go up on their website, you can look on the internet, and you can see there's a lot of people that have recorded these, what they thought to be stars, which are actually, they're saying, large spacecraft, large UFO spacecraft. And if you look at these videos, you could see that the thing's moving. You could see that the thing's many times pulsating with different colors. Many times it's different shapes than one another. And he's saying when Maitreya makes his big day of declaration, which is what they've talked about for years and years and years, there's going to be 4 of these things around planet Earth that are going to be, appear both day and night, and everybody's going to be able to see them, and it's going to force obviously a worldwide discussion on this particular topic. And then at that point, Maitreya is going to, I believe, contact some type of U.S. news broadcast, and he's going to actually do an interview. Now again, this has been predicted for literally decades, what I just said. This isn't something that, I just found out about yesterday. This is one of the first things the Lord showed me after I got saved regarding the coming end times. I learned about this character, and it's been building and building and building up to this point. So we're going to be looking at the Bible verses a little bit later of what the Bible says about, the Antichrist and how he's going to come and in what manner. And this absolutely lines up with that. Now, whether he's going to usher in the Antichrist or whether he is, is neither here nor there, because he's going to play some type of end time part in this, most likely a very large part. And let's go ahead and let's go further with the little video clip here.
Over the world, but especially in south of England, are created by our space brothers from the other planets, mainly from the planets of Mars and Venus. And the first crop circle created this year, many weeks ahead of the usual date when they appear, is, if you can see it, a star. That's a photograph of the first crop circle. It was made by a spacecraft in a few seconds, I suppose, as they all are. It's hundreds of feet long, meters long, and is to remind those who need to know that this is the star, the herald of Maitreya, who is entering into public work.
Okay, so what he just talked about there were all of the crop circles, which I've never done a study on crop circles, but the crop circle phenomenon, I understand some of them are hoaxed, but a lot of them are not hoaxed. And really the common theory that you hear about this, if you listen to the alien propaganda and or the New Age propaganda, is that these are actually created from either outer space or a low-lying UFO where they come down and they just zap these things into these fields very quickly. Some of them are so complex and intricate there's no other way it could really be explained. And remember, the devil's very good at what he does. He's had a lot of years to hone his craft. And this is a big deception that we see. And we're going to be talking more about that, how Hollywood has prepared the way regarding the whole alien agenda, the UFO agenda, and these types of things. The crop circles are very prevalent. And what he goes on to say is that the reason that there's so many of them in the area of England is because that's the very place that Maitreya resides. He resides in an Asian community outside of London. So And also, not only that, but witchcraft. There's more witches per capita in England than any other place on Earth. Okay, so when you have a lot of occult activity goes on, those areas a lot of times will be also areas where these UFOs tend to manifest because they're pure evil. And as these doors open where people are using, witchcraft and the occult and things of this nature, you're going to have more demonic activity. UFOs are many times evidence of that. So Maitreya is, he's basically the one that's taking credit now for the crop circles. He shows one of the most recent crop circles, and it's a crop circle, this gigantic one of a star. And again, what Benjamin Creme is saying here is this is symbolic of this star that we're going to be seeing in the skies very soon that is going to herald in the coming of Maitreya, just like the Star of Bethlehem heralded in Jesus Christ. Do you understand the parallel here? So this is what they're claiming, except they're going to claim Maitreya was much greater than Jesus Christ. And we'll get a little bit more into that, and I've got into that in other teachings. Because they can't just have Maitreya equal with Jesus Christ. They have to have him at a much, much higher level. And it's pure blasphemy, but this is exactly what they're reporting here. So I'm going to go ahead, let's go back to the little report here.
Maitreya talk about on television and radio. And obviously he will talk about the need for peace, the need for justice in the world. But how do we get justice? Maitreya says there is only one way to achieve justice in the world. To see the world as one, brothers and sisters of one humanity, and to share the resources of the world. Sharing is the key. Only sharing will produce the trust needed to end war forever.
Okay, and again, I've said this before, Maitreya will most likely come on the heels of World War III. We've got a lot of things going on right now with the swine flu, forced vaccinations. We have a lot of things that are going on the internet regarding World War III in the Middle East. This is the ideal, perfect climate for Maitreya to make his emergence. And particularly if we have an economic collapse starting most likely in America, or in one of the countries and then sweeping the globe. We're already kind of in the initial stages of that anyway. This is the perfect environment for Maitreya to come forward. And notice the rhetoric here is justice, sharing, truth. All sounds real nice and good. Now remember, Satan is the most subtle beast of the field. When he came to Eve in the Garden of Eden in Genesis 3, he made it sound real good. The proposition he was making to Eve. And this is exactly the same thing that he's doing today. But he's doing it now, he's going to be doing it to all humanity, not just one person. This is going to be a global pitch for this particular thing. And when people are in the throes of all of these cataclysms, economic, biological, pandemics, World War III, people are going to get desperate. Particularly if the food and the water supplies have possibly been cut off. And the devil wants you desperate. He wants you desperate because he knows that he's going to get a lot more converts in a desperate population as opposed to a population where everybody is content. So let's go ahead and we'll go further.
When we have sharing, we automatically have justice. When we have justice, we will have peace. Freedom, justice, sharing, and peace all go together. One comes out of the other. They're all part of the same divine plan for humanity. This is indeed a unique time in the whole history of the world.
Okay, so that's the end of that one particular video, and he's saying that we're going to have all of this this utopian world, which they're talking about, and the only Jesus Christ is the only one that's going to bring peace.